All right, so I'm out here having this nice little walk, and man, the sun just got me right in the face. I'm out having this nice little walk, and I was thinking about this. What do you think you could achieve if you knew you were going to succeed? I mean, what do you think would be your success story? What would be your book or whatever that would be written about you and what you've done if you knew that you were going to succeed? What would you try? What are you afraid to try now because you don't want to fail? But here's the situation: you don't know whether or not you're going to fail or succeed. So what would you try if you knew you were going to succeed? Ooh, the sun is bright. Look at this. It's a beautiful thing. So I pose that question to you because I think so many of us, myself included, so many of us struggle because we're afraid we're going to fail. We're afraid that whatever we do is going to end up in disaster. I read a book recently. A guy named Ryan Leake wrote this great book. And in his book, the book is called Chasing Failure. He talked about how he wanted to get a tryout on an NBA team. Now, he played some ball and he was in good shape, and he really worked hard at it and actually put himself in a position. Now, what was neat was that nobody wanted him. Nobody knew that he wanted to even do this, but he started telling teams. He actually sent out letters and emails to teams just asking for a tryout. Believe it or not, there was one team that actually did, and they let him come on the court. And for one moment, he had a coach, NBA coach, and NBA players running next to him and playing with him on the court. Now, he didn't make the team, but you know what? He did something that only in his dreams he thought he could do, and that was to play on the court with an NBA team or to even try out with an NBA team. I love that story because I think we are paralyzed because we are always going to think we're going to fail. There's a sales adage that's out there and says, don't answer the question that hasn't been asked. Well, I think for us personally, even in our own personal lives, we do that. We answer questions that haven't been asked. If you ever have coming out of your mind or out of your mouth, I don't think they're going to go with this, or I don't think they're going to put up with this, or I don't think they would say yes. You've already answered the question for them before you've even asked them that question. You have determined that that question is going to be a no, or the answer is going to be a no to your question, and you've never even asked the question. So why do we do this? Well, out of fear. We do this because we don't think we measure up. We don't think that we have that imposter syndrome that we carry, around with us. We don't think that we have what it takes or that we've reached that level because, see, we see the level of people around us that are successful and we go, can't reach that. I can't do the things that are required to reach that. And you've already answered the question before it was even asked. So, I ask you the question, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And I know for me personally, this is the way I want to start living my life. I want to start living my life in a way to say, you know what? I'm not going to fail. And if I do fail, I'm going to learn. And it's going to help me grow. And it's going to help me see what I need to do different the next time. You know, if we would just live a life thinking that we would never fail, it'd be amazing the discoveries, the successes, the goals that we would achieve. You know, think about the Wright brothers, Edison, all these people who just wouldn't take no or failure. They said, you know what? We're going to do it. I got a little friend over my shoulder. This is what happens when you come to a Disney resort and you hang out. You get little animal friends. So I just had a buzz in my ear. So write down in the comments, what is something you would do if you knew you couldn't fail? What is something that you would do differently, you would achieve, you would try if you knew you couldn't fail? All right. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. That's all I got for you for today. Like, subscribe, and let other people know. And please leave comments and let me know what's going on. Again, we want to build a community of people who are encouraging one another, who are lifting each other up, and ultimately who are succeeding in life. Okay? All right. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you again I'll talk to you again tomorrow. All right? Okay. Bye-bye.